Hey there, high level listeners. Have you ever had one of those days where you just feel worn down, let down, or totally burned out? Well, native speakers use tons of phrasal verbs to talk about stress, disappointment, and feeling low. And today we're breaking down 10 of the most useful ones that you can start using in your English right away. Whether it's about feeling overwhelmed at work, struggling with bad news, or just needing to shake off a rough day, these will help you sound more natural in English. Stick around because at the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly how to use them.
Yes, that's right. Welcome back to High Level Listening. This is where we break down British and American English side by side. And today we're focusing on real life phrasal verbs in English and the way people talk about when they're upset, when they're stressed, or dealing with frustration. As a quick reminder, this lesson is part of our phrasal verb study pack, which you can find in our High Level Listening store. And that has extra explanations, PDF worksheets with lots of exercises. It has an ad-free version of this MP3 and much more to help you use these phrasal verbs in conversation and really remember them. You can see the link in the description below.
Right, so let's get into today's lesson. As always, we'll explain each phrasal verb quite simply. We'll give you a clear definition, and then we'll give you 4 example sentences so you can see how they're used naturally. Now, sometimes you might find that phrasal verbs have multiple meanings, but really we're going to stick to this topic, and most of these are going to be when you feel sad, depressed, or just feeling down, which is our very first phrasal verb. Feel down means to feel sad or low, just not feeling very good. So I'm feeling a bit down. I've been feeling down all day. So it could be sad, it could be low energy, it could be feeling stressed, just feeling a bit down. So I've been feeling down all day. I think I just need some fresh air. And another example sentence, she always feels down in the winter when the weather is gloomy.
Yeah, I feel down is a good one when you feel a little bit sad or low energy and you don't really know why. Sometimes you just wake up in the morning and you feel a bit down. Or people ask you, hey, are you okay? And you can say, no, I just feel a bit down. I don't know. It could be the weather, could be something else, just being tired. Some more example sentences. I was feeling really down, but talking to my friend really helped. One more example, like I said, I don't really know why. I've been feeling a bit down today. So if you're feeling down, you're just not feeling great for whatever reason. The next phrasal verb we have is let down. If you feel let down, or something lets you down, or lets me down, it disappoints me. It's not as good as I expected. I thought it would be great, but really, it's not very good. That let me down. A person can let you down. A place can let you down. An event can let you down. Anything that is disappointing. For example, we were completely let down by the hotel. It looked nothing like the photos. So my expectations were high. A beautiful hotel room with a pool, a balcony, a view. But in reality, it had a bad view and was missing parts, or it was dirty. We were completely let down by the hotel. Also, if I feel like I'm going to disappoint you, I'm going to make you sad, I'm going to break a promise or change my mind, I'm sorry to let you down, but I don't think I can make it to the party tonight.
Just what Mark said. I felt really let down when he canceled our plans last minute. He did say, I'm sorry to let you down. And I do. I feel really let down, Mark. Come on. What are you doing? Why are you canceling last minute?
Sorry to let you down.
Yeah. Well, I felt really let down. So similarly to I felt really disappointed, I felt really let down when he canceled our plans last minute. She didn't want to let her team down, so she worked extra hard on the project. She didn't want to disappoint her team. She didn't want to let her team down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down, okay? Meaning don't disappoint me. If I said to Mark, do not disappoint me, that sounds very serious. But like, don't let me down means, don't let me down. Don't disappoint me. Don't you do that. Don't you let me down. Okay, to break down, to break down. You might have heard one of these in our car episodes, but we're focusing on this one is to become very emotional or even start crying. Okay, so you break down and cry. She broke down and started crying. It's kind of when you're trying to hold all of your emotions together and you just break. Right? So if you break down, you let all of those emotions fly, right? Most of the time, it's when you're very emotional and often quite sad, but it could come from anywhere. Sometimes anger causes you to just break down and cry and just really let it loose, right? So she broke down when she heard the bad news. Maybe before she was feeling good, she was feeling happy, and then this bad news came. She was shocked, surprised, sad, and then she broke down when she heard the news. I imagine she really started crying, or maybe she had to leave the room and deal with her emotions, right? I was so overwhelmed, I just broke down in the middle of the meeting. I was so overwhelmed, I just broke down in the middle of the meeting. Now, this could be crying, but I also think that it just stops you from doing what you're doing and you have to leave, right?
Yeah, like Kat said, this is the exact moment that your emotions come out. Maybe you're trying to look calm and normal on the surface, and then there's one more thing and it's too much and you start crying. That's the moment you break down. For example, he tried to stay composed, but after the doctor's appointment, he completely broke down. So maybe he was already feeling scared and nervous, and then the doctor gave him bad news, and that is enough to make them cry. They broke down. Movies. You might be watching a sad film, even when you know the ending and you know what's going to happen. The movie was so emotional, half the audience broke down by the end. When a character dies or they break up, you feel so sad, you break down. Okay, another one about feeling sad, but controlling it is to bottle up. If you bottle up your emotions, imagine your emotions are in a bottle, and when you're angry or sad, it wants to like blow up, but you close the bottle and you keep it contained. On your face, you look calm, you look normal, but inside, the bottle is ready to explode. Some people think this isn't a healthy thing to do, but often at work, if you're frustrated and you have to stay professional, you have to bottle up your emotions. She's really good at bottling things up, but I know when she's upset. Or you can give some advice to someone who you think is very stressed, but not showing it in a healthy way. If you keep bottling up your stress, it's only going to get worse. So generally, bottling things up is not considered a healthy way to relieve stress. You should do some exercise, talk to somebody, or watch something enjoyable. Get rid of your emotions. Don't just bottle them up.
Like Mark said, when you bottle something up, it's usually because you're not talking about it. It's usually because you're not sharing and you're not doing anything about it. You're just trying to ignore it. So someone might be talking to their partner or a close friend and say, look, you don't have to bottle everything up. It's okay to talk about it. Some people, the reason they bottle it up is not just to be professional, but because they just can't deal with it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to deal with it. So you ignore it, you bottle it up. But honestly, you don't have to bottle everything up. It's okay to talk about it. I'm going to open up the communication here. He bottled up his emotions for years before finally opening up. So opening up, bottling up. So we bottled it up, right? And it kind of sounds like it's stacking up. And then you're really trying, like Mark said, really trying to hold it. And he bottled up his emotions for years before finally opening up. And that's that bottle, right? Opening it up, letting those emotions out. Okay, so we've got kind of a 2-for-1 on the next one, to choke up or to tear up. Choke is when you can't breathe because something is blocking your throat, right? But to choke up, have you ever felt that feeling before where you can feel the tears and the sadness coming kind of up your throat a little bit. So to choke up, yeah. To choke up or to tear up is to feel that sadness coming, but you kind of stop it a little bit. So I want to just say congratulations.
Right, like you're an actor winning an award. They always get choked up.
Exactly. I'm sorry, I'm a little choked up. And we use this sometimes because we can't talk. Sorry, I'm just a little choked up. And so kind of the choke up is really that feeling in your throat. And to tear up is when the water and the tears start coming out. You're not really fully crying yet, but you are tearing up. There's some water in your eyes. So to choke up and to tear up are both to feel so emotional that you can't speak or you start to get tears in your eyes. So they're very similar. So I choked up during my speech. I was so emotional. I'm sorry. I'm a little choked up. Let me get some water. Yep.
I want to thank my mum. I want to thank my dad.
So yeah, it's not really that feeling right here. So he teared up. He teared up when he watched the wedding video. Oh, little tear. Oh, that's so nice. He teared up when he watched the wedding video.
Some more examples. She was trying to stay strong, but you could see she was tearing up. So up, like becoming full, eyes full of water. And I always choke up at the end of that movie. It's just so sad. That's 𝐾𝐭 for me, the Pixar film. It's so hard not to get choked up.
That's a good one.
Yes. Another phrasal verb about kind of sadness or sad thinking is to dwell on something. If you dwell on it, you keep thinking about it. And this is a negative thing. If you dwell on something, you're spending too long thinking about something negative. It's probably about a mistake you made in the past or a sad moment where you wish you had done something different, but you can't change it. But if you keep thinking about it again and again, an embarrassing moment, a sad moment, you are dwelling on it. And again, it's not considered the best thing or the healthiest thing to do. You shouldn't dwell on your past mistakes. You should just try and move on, try and move past it. I know it was embarrassing, but don't dwell on it. No one even noticed. Or you can talk about someone else's behavior. She tends to dwell on things that happened years ago. So again, we consider this not the best way to think about your mistakes. Don't dwell on it. Just look forward. Be more positive and optimistic.
The more example sentences. Try not to dwell on your mistakes. Just learn from them and move on. He keeps dwelling on that one bad test score instead of focusing on his progress, right? That overthinking, that negative thinking. All I can think about is this one bad thing. So he keeps dwelling on it. Okay, so to wear someone down, to feel worn down. So we use this word wear, but if you wear something down, wear someone down, you become emotionally and mentally tired, okay? So over time, all that stress wears people down. You feel more and more tired. It gets harder and harder to get out of bed. So if you feel worn down, all the stress from work is really wearing me down. Even though I get enough sleep, I eat healthy, all this stress is making me tired, and mentally I'm getting more and more exhausted. So all the stress from work is really wearing me down. He was worn down after months of working without a break. Wow, I can't imagine how you would feel. Very tired, very emotionally tired, mentally tired. He was worn down after months of working without a break.
Yes, if someone's worn down, they might not be able to think very clearly, make decisions easily. They might just be tired all the time. They are worn down. The constant criticism is clearly starting to wear her down. Even celebrities get worn down if they are on social media and lots of people are saying mean things or leaving rude comments. That can wear you down too. One more example. He looks really worn down. Work has been really tough lately. Next phrasal verb we have is freak out. So if you see someone freak out, this is quite a casual expression. I wouldn't use this at work. But if somebody freaks out, they become very upset, quite anxious, worried, or they completely panic. Like, oh no, oh my God, this is the end of the world. So as soon as he saw the bill, he completely freaked out. So maybe the bill was extremely expensive and he realized he doesn't have enough money to pay it. Oh my God, what do I do? Some people are very calm in those kinds of situations or stressful situations, but people who are quite anxious and don't do well under pressure are more likely to freak out. It does sound kind of negative, like you're not really in control of your emotions, or maybe you're overreacting. You're reacting a little bit too strongly or extremely. It's also a good phrase that you can use to talk about to your friends. If you've got some bad news to give your friend, before you give the bad news, you can say, promise you won't freak out, but I had to spend some money on the car. So if you know your friend or someone is quite sensitive to bad news and might get very upset instantly, promise you won't freak out, but I spent a little bit extra money at the supermarket. You can say things like that.
Absolutely. Mark is right. This was quite informal, so better to use with friends. But I could definitely see this being because you're anxious, you're feeling crazy, you're feeling angry, you're feeling surprised or even shocked. So there's a lot of different ways that we can use this. So she freaked out when she realized she lost her passport. She was looking everywhere. She was throwing everything. She might have been mad. She might have been shocked. She might have been upset. So when you freak out, you just kind of go nuts a little bit. I'm trying not to freak out, but this deadline is stressing me out. Okay. I'm trying not to lose my control, right? That's what freaking out is losing control again. So I'm trying not to freak out, but this deadline is stressing me out. So I'm trying to bottle up those emotions, right? I'm trying to keep it under control, but this is freaking me out. This is freaking me out. All right. So when you want to finally stop feeling sad, stressed, or upset, you might have to tell yourself to just shake it off. Just like Taylor Swift, we're just going to shake it off. Okay. So I needed to take a walk to shake off the bad mood I was in. So when you try to shake something off, it's because you're in a bad mood. Man, I am not feeling good. I'm feeling kind of down. Actually, I'm feeling like got all this bottled up frustration, anger, and I just need to get rid of it. So I want to shake it off. Shake it off. Now, make sure that you use shake it off, because if you just shake, it's just this. Or
Yeah,
you
like
can kind
making
of
it
shake a
uphill.
bottle or shake something. But if you shake it off, it's kind of removing those bad feelings. So I needed to take a walk to shake off the bad mood I was in. And she couldn't shake off the feeling that something was wrong. I tried to shake it off. I tried to get rid of my feelings, but something still feels wrong. She couldn't shake off the feeling that something was wrong.
Yes, you could also imagine like a dog when they go in the water and then they come out and they shake themselves and all the water comes off. That dog is shaking off. And that's what we want to do with all the sadness and the stress and anxiety. It's also if you want to kind of be a bit more determined and get over a bad moment. You definitely hear this in sports. The coach told the team to shake off the defeat and focus on the next match. Don't dwell on your defeats, shake it off and look forward. One more example. I still feel a bit upset, but I'm trying to shake it off. Okay, our very last one about sadness is burn out. If you burn out, or if you feel burnt out, you feel completely exhausted. You're overwhelmed from work, from life, your responsibilities, and you feel like you can't do anything. You can't think, you can't enjoy your free time, you can't make decisions, you can't think about the future. You are burned out. Worn out feels like a step below, burned out feels like you need to take a break. You should stop working for a little bit, maybe take a few days off, maybe try and go on a little trip somewhere. If you burn out, then you're almost a bit useless at work. Maybe you can't even complete your basic tasks very well. It might start to affect your work performance, and that just makes it worse, and you burn out even more. One example, he worked so much last year that he completely burned himself out. Yeah, you often burn out when you don't have enough rest. You don't have enough time to relax and unwind. If you work too hard for too long, you will eventually burn out. You can even say it to other people. Don't burn yourself out. You need rest too, you know.
Oh, we can say I burned out or burnt out. Some people say I am burnt out. You can use whichever one you like. I burned out after months of studying without a break. You're burnt out like a candle. What do you do with a candle that's burnt out? So if you don't take time for yourself, you are going to burn out. And when you burn out, you're completely useless, right? You won't be able to do anything that you did before. Well, okay, so that's kind of the end. I know, a little sad,
Yeah.
If you're feeling quite sad after this one, go listen to our happiness phrasal verbs because, yeah, I'm feeling a bit burnt out myself. No, I'm just kidding. We're feeling good. So there you have it, 10 essential phrasal verbs for talking about stress, disappointment, and overall just kind of feeling a bit down, right? So which phrase was new for you? Have you ever heard native speakers use these before? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you guys.
Yes, and if you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to hit like and subscribe as well so you won't miss the 2 videos that we put out every single week. And if you really want to boost your English phrasal verb skills, we have a phrasal verb study pack in the High Level Listening store below. You get a full word list with examples, you get some worksheets full of activities, you get an ad-free version of the episode as well. All of that will help you sound more natural and confident in English. They really do make a difference, these activities, so you can get them in the link below.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We appreciate every single one of you. See you next time for another lesson here on High Level Listening.
Bye-bye.